I've met about 30 federal government ministers in Mexico. I've worked at every disaster in Mexico over the last 17 years.
Okay.
I've got thank you letters from the American ambassador to Mexico, and et cetera, et cetera.
You ready to get this started, the interview?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Sure.
yes.
Okay.
Let me ask you, how long is the clip going to be?
Probably about 1:30.
Okay, so you're just going to want to use that. What do you want me to say?
I would like to, well, I just want to interview you, find out what you were doing down there, what you were able to find out, if I can just get a real
So
quick.
that's got to be like 10 seconds or something.
Yeah, depending on what all we have from that, too. First of all, just get some information, obviously, from you. It might not just run tonight, it might run tomorrow as well. We might do another piece on it.
Well, okay, let me throw this at you as well. I'm partially paralyzed from the World Trade Center. At 3 levels below ground zero, and also I've lost 40% of my lung capacity. I notice you have one of those too. Anyway, I've got a dozen different metals in clogging my lungs. I haven't been able to raise a single cent from the Red Cross or anything else to pay for medical bills. I'm actually going to leave. I'm in the process of leaving the area so I can go to another country and get medical treatment.
Okay. Are you interested in doing something about that later?
Yeah.
Learn that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have your number, and I'll run that by the editorial meeting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
All right.
And if they want to do something, we can do something on that tomorrow or Tuesday.
All right.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd be very interested in doing that story as well.
Okay.
But first, just for tonight, they want to do
Yeah.
this one. But I would be very, very interested in somebody who was at the World Trade Center and part of the rescue, and now you're having, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, to put it in perspective for you, I've crawled inside of 894 collapsed buildings, and the next most experienced person in the entire world has done 30. And the next most experienced, single most experienced American in any fire department in the entire United States has done 5.
Okay.
So that indicates the amount of experience we have.
Okay. All right. Very interesting. Okay. Well, we'll just get this one moved into.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, tell me what exactly, what brought you down to Mexico to do this?
I was contacted by friends of the family who asked if I would go and assist. They know that we're the most experienced rescue team in the world, and also I have 650 diplomatic papers from different countries for doing that. As it is in Mexico, I have 30 or 40 high-level government contacts. And as well as being the most experienced rescue team in the world, and disaster management, and all the lives we saved, and 40 bodies at the World Trade Center and all that, we also do things where people contact me to do a humanitarian thing. For example, I arranged for a American woman who was held as a virtual slave in Jordan, and had gone down to 86 pounds, and her mother thought she was about to die, but she was. I arranged for her to be released, to come back here to have an operation. So we've done a lot of things that are very unusual, and but because we have so many contacts around the world, we can cut through red tape and get things done. Okay.
What were you, when you were down there, what were you able to find out, and what were you able to get done while you were down there?
Actually, we were very successful while we were there. She was there for 2.5 months. Her entire time down there was a complete waste of time. The consular agent for the U.S. in the area misread the entire situation, and she started Michelle off on the path of a civil litigation process in which the local authorities, as it turned out, had been bribed and paid off. That was completely unnecessary. As a matter of fact, it was a straight criminal kidnapping. That being the case, all that's necessary is to bring it to the attention of the authorities in Mexico City in such a way that they make a phone call to the Minister of Justice. The Minister of Justice will call the local authorities, and the child will be immediately released. But nobody in Mexico City knows anything about it. So what I did was I went there, gathered the information, gathered the facts, found out, what needs to be done and what the reality is down there. What I found out is that we have a murder, a suicide, a kidnapping, extortion, and corruption, and incompetence. So all of that put together, we have the solution. I'm preparing the documentation, and the video that I need to give to the high authorities in Mexico City, including the American ambassador, so that they can arrange the release.
Okay. And that is what this is about on this tape. This will be sent to, who will this be sent to?
Not on that tape, on the CD, because I've already edited for the CD.
Okay.
Just quickly, I put some cuts together for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you can use a CD, you'd be well off using a CD.
Okay.
It kind of looks like a video phone,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but you know, the content's really powerful.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when will this be sent down, and hopefully the child will be released?
Well, just so busy, you can't even imagine. I'm supposed to go to Palestine to find the victims from Jenin. I've been asked to do that. I'm going to put that on hold. I've got 2 other projects to do, which I put on hold. I'm hoping that I'm going to get all this done by the end of the week, if not before.
And how is she doing? At this point, Layla is still with her grandmother, and Michelle still doesn't have Layla, correct?
Well,
or with the grandmother's attorney or something?
Nobody knows where Layla is. The daughter, or the ex-sister-in-law, is the one who actually physically kidnapped her and ripped her from her arms. I believe I told you that an unknown man approached Michelle and told her that if she didn't leave and let the sister-in-law have the child, that they were going to kill the little girl. Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
That's on the CD. So right now, as far as the grandmother goes, she has absolutely nothing to do with this. She is not involved in any way whatsoever. The sister-in-law physically kidnapped, in a criminal fashion, the little girl. It's as simple as that. Grandmother doesn't get involved, other than she paid off some local judges, which won't hold water with higher authorities in Mexico City. They won't take the heat for someone getting a kickback like that.
When you say that you'll be giving this information to authorities in Mexico City, who are the authorities that we're talking about?
Okay. I'll be sending a package to the American ambassador to Mexico, to the President of Mexico, to the Minister of Justice, to my wife's best friend's fiancé, who's a senator in Mexico, and to two other federal government ministers, as well as an admiral who's a very close personal friend of mine.
Okay. And what do you expect to come of this?
Really simple. All that's required in this situation is for a high-level government official to contact the Minister of Justice, give him the data, essentially inform him that the Mexican government does not want to be seen as an accessory to a kidnapping of an American citizen. Call the local authorities, tell them to release the child immediately. That's what I fully expect to happen. If that does not happen, then it's the result of some kind of a cover-up for past incompetence over the last 2.5 months. If that's the case, then we'll bring pressure to bear on them that they will do the right thing.
If no one knows where this child is, though, how can she be released?
Finding the child is not a problem whatsoever. We could have found the child very easily. Like I say, we've got team members in 52 countries. I have 650 diplomatic papers. I know lots of people in secret police and lots of organizations and federales in Mexico. We can find the child in no time whatsoever. However, while I was down there, I didn't deem that to be appropriate. And the reason why is I didn't want to get these, quote, crazy people who members of the family have already, murder, suicide, kidnapping, run the car into Michelle twice, tried to kill Michelle if she didn't go away. When that didn't work, they had someone go up and threaten to kill her child.
They ran a car into her twice?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Oh, yeah, well, it's all in the tape.
Okay.
It's all in that CD. That CD's all for news, but it's bang, bang, bang. Here's my child's ashes. This is where her father murdered him. Goes on from there. They actually even went, and the day before she got there, and buried the little boy, so she had to have him exhumed.
Mm-hmm, I knew, yeah.
So, it's one despicable act after another, and criminal act after another. And I consider them all to be very unstable people because of their behavior. So I didn't want to arouse them anymore until we were ready to make the move.
Where else do you expect to release the CD besides?
Well, you know, I've been on about 800 TV programs, and I've done I've been featured in 7 different Discovery Channel programs. So I think what we'd like to do is we'll actually make a half-hour show about this, and it'll be, you know, one of the things that it already does from a humanitarian point of view.
How much does it cost for someone to hire you to do something like this?
Nothing.
They don't pay you any? I mean, do they have to pay your expenses down there or something?
They paid some expenses. I have never charged anyone. We have saved, the organization I started has saved more than 100,000 lives.
So you're paid by your organization?
No. And I have rescued 300 people buried alive. And all the people that we've arranged for them to be back in their families and all the things we do, I have never received 1 single cent of payment in the entire time. In fact, I give at least 50% of my income to the team to do things like this. Which leads me back again to the only thing that really does irk me. You know, I didn't have a problem getting killed in a third world country. I never expected to go without medical treatment. But I didn't expect to be the only, 1 out of 3 people that had the guts to go 6 levels deep in the World Trade Center, recover 40 victims, and become severely injured and not get any medical treatment, while the Red Cross walks away with $2 billion, which they're putting in bank accounts and stuff, and they're not doing anything. In fact, 3M gave them $750,000 in respirators, and there's 1,000 emergency personnel that have serious life-threatening respiratory problems like I do, because there weren't any respirators. The Red Cross kept them. They not only did they keep the money, but they also kept the respirators, and that's outrageous.
So how do you? I mean, if you don't get paid, how do you make a living? How do you?
Most of my income comes from television. Networks pay me to go to different disasters with me and film me saving people's lives. CBS, for example, your network, they came here to Albuquerque from New York City and filmed me for an interview, and they also bought some film footage from me to do in one of their half-hour shows. ABC filmed me paid me to go with me to Turkey, one of the earthquakes, to save a little girl trapped under 9 floors of concrete for 4 days.
So American Rescue Team International, it's a private organization, or is it?
It's a non-profit.
Okay.
Let me put it this way. We are, in reality, what, in your wildest imagination, you would think the Red Cross actually does. We actually save thousands of lives all over the year, all over the world, all the time.
Okay. That's really all I need for this right now. What I want to do...
Want 2 shots?
Yeah. Let me hide all my medicines and stuff. What I want to do is talk to my assistant news director tomorrow morning about doing something on you with regards to the World Trade Center and the medical and physical complications you're having from that now.
Well,
what is the issue at hand? If I can ask again, you can't get disability, or
no. Here's the situation as it stands right now. Because the members of our organization, and you can see from the document, here's my emergency ID. Okay, the police commissioner in New York thanked me personally. Said, "Oh, thank you. We really appreciate you being here." Right? We recovered 40 victims. Right? And all of this stuff. After CNN reported that FEMA said they would go no deeper than this place, 2 levels deep because it was too dangerous. We went another mile past that and 4 levels deeper. I have all that on film. At any rate, here's the situation. I contacted Senator Kent. Okay, the Red Cross refuses to give any money. Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. They're keeping it. We tried other organizations, and it really boils down to the private ones. Their internal rules are that they will not give any money to anyone. Only two conditions. You need to be someone who's actually injured by the plane crash, or you need to be a government employee. Now, the fact that we were issued, the police told the military to give us this. We flew in there on private jet with clearance from the director of the FAA, who arranged for us to have military flight clearance. Our flight was changed to a military flight en route. Despite all of that, being thanked by the mayor, and everything we did, okay, the way they did the bureaucracy of who gets the money, volunteers, even if those volunteers are asked to be there, are given ID for being there, and are very successful there, are getting nothing.
But
nothing whatsoever.
What is it you want money for? I thought you had like a medical condition. You
I do.
Some medical attention.
I'm partially paralyzed. The inside of my groin is numb. My butt's numb. For 5 months, I never went a minute without pain, a lot of pain. But now it all went numb. So the back of my leg is numb. My foot has zero neurological response. So I was walking like a guy with polio kind of thing. But now I just kind of severely limp. I need an operation of my spine. And my lungs, twice, my breathing has gone down to the point where it was life-threatening.
So, just so I know what I'm supposed to be telling them tomorrow morning, I want to be clear here. So what is it that you want and you're not getting it you feel you deserve? That's what I'm trying to find out.
What I feel I deserve is the most experienced rescue person in the world, with all the documentation, and you can see it on that CD.
Oh, I don't doubt that, no.
I expect in my own country, with all the billions of dollars given to victims, I expect that I don't have to go to another country in order to get medical treatment so I won't die.
Why would you have to go to another country?
Because I can't get any here. I've already run out. I've run out of, I've got all the hospitals and all the procedures and all of them, I haven't had the money to pay them. So they're not giving me medical treatment anymore.
I see what you're saying.
I need to go and have monitoring done on my lungs all my life. I need to go and have something done about somehow trying to get this crap out of them.
You feel like Red Cross or somebody, with all the money that's been given to victims and stuff like that, you feel like somebody should be...
No. Money hasn't been given to victims. Money was given to private organizations thinking it was going to be given to the victims, but they kept it.
I see what you're saying. So victims have not received money, and you yourself, who was not exactly a victim, but you are a victim of what happened because you're physically now disabled.
So I need to go to another country, is there no shame?
I got you.
That I have to go to another country where they know me and stuff from saving people? I mean, I need to go to... Like Tony Blair, I've been talking with. Well, there's some letters there. Essentially, it all boils down to this: from Senator Kennedy helping and all that. They said Senator Kennedy is drafting legislation with some other senators against the Red Cross to monitor so they can't do this anymore. So you don't realize that the earthquake in San Francisco, they got $57 million. And they walked away with, they spent less than $100,000, and they were walking away with the rest of the money. And their Art Agnos in San Francisco sued him, and then they spent the money. Jesse Ventura sued him for the money they collected from the floods in Minnesota. In San Diego, they kept it, and they never gave any. Because of huge firestorms, burned everybody's homes. They never gave anything to the people who had their homes burned down. They just use disasters as an opportunity to get money, and they keep it. You remember what the Red Cross saying? They wanted to put $350 million right off the top and put it away? Do you remember that in the World Trade Center? And there's a big, no, you can't do that? That's what they do every time. So, essentially, they told even Senator Kennedy, which really surprised me, with the amount of pressure they put on them, they told them to go to hell. In other words, they said, we can do, like the report I got back from Senator Kennedy's office is American Red Cross is a private organization that can do anything they want with their money.
Okay.
But now they're going to put legislation in place, so they say, so that they can't do this anymore. That if they collect money for victims, they have to give it to the victims.
Mm-hmm.
Grab it, Mike, from you, sir.
Yeah. And
Thank you very much.
in my case, I'm already making arrangements to go because it's been 8 months. I haven't had a cent, not 1 cent in 8 months. With all those millions of bucks, not 1 cent for lost income or for medicine or to pay my medical bills.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Okay. I understand now. Now I'm following what you're saying. I just want to make sure I'm clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing.
Well, I'll let them know tomorrow morning. It's going to be a busy morning, as you know. Bush is going to be here, so it'll be a busy morning.
I didn't know.
Yeah, he's coming for a visit. So either tomorrow morning or Tuesday morning, I'll make sure that I get this.
Yeah. Now, what you can include in this, okay? Now, film footage. I've already sold 2 shows to Inside Edition, and I'll be also. There's someone coming here in another week from French TV, and they want to buy film footage from me to do a show in Europe.
Okay.
But I own the film footage. I sold. I let the Inside Edition have it for a week. That was it. The rights to their broadcast. So, if you do a show, okay, and they described it as going down into the darkest place on earth, which it really was.
Yeah.
I'll let you use the film footage for free.
Okay. I'll let them know that.
All right.
Okay. I certainly will. But your story is very interesting, and I think that definitely something they'll want to do.
Yeah, and this thing here is like, I do stuff like this all the time, no money, but, now I'm just so pressed to the limit without having a cent of income for 8 months.
Sure.
And all these medical bills that I'm somehow managing to do it. But it's, I'm pretty...
Upset.
Well, no, not even upset. Disgusted.
Disappointed, yeah.
No, I'm not disappointed. I'm thoroughly disgusted.
Okay. And then we'll
And it's a hell of a thing that I have to go to another country. After you can see on that video in there of me I invented the only machine in the world that finds human remains. So I used it in Kosovo for finding mass grave sites. You see German television, they went with me, filmed me there. That's in there.
Okay.
And the Swiss air crash, I found the victims on the bottom of the ocean, 580 feet deep. That's in the clip in there.
Okay.
Bunch of stuff like that. But within 20 minutes of being at the World Trade Center, I was using my machine to finding pieces of brains mixed in with the dirt from people that jumped off the top.
Okay.
So you consider that and finding 40 victims. It's a hell of a thing that I have to. Well, I'll tell you what they told.